You ever heard somebody say something and then immediately your first response is, yeah, I agree with that. And then maybe over time you start looking at it and thinking and you go, you know, with some analysis, I'm not so sure that I can buy into that. I'll tell you what came to my mind was this saying, because I've heard this a lot all my life. I've said it. This statement: God is in control. God is in control. And that's really easy, especially when you're doing, ministry. I mean, you're standing in front of a group of people and they are there and they've invited you and they're behind you and everybody's excited and there's this sense of the building of the message and the crescendo, and it's real easy to say, the earth would spin off of its axis if God was not in control. Or the ocean would bleed into the sky if God was not in control. You'd wake up tomorrow and whales would be flying in the air if God were not in control. And I get that. I get that. I understand where that comes from. Even if you know church or don't know church, you've heard it, you know about that. But I think everything in moderation. I don't think that that's a school of thought that you dwell on and live by every single second of the day. I challenge that by saying this. If somebody is murdered and you know them, why seek justice for that person? Because one, God is in control and he allowed that to happen, so it must be in his will. Makes you think. The other side of it is this: why look for justice? Because God is in control. So since murder is not okay, right, God will get that person. So when we talk about God is in control of what? Of how much? How much of this do we play a part of? Right? God is in control. Is God in control so much that I have to get up in the morning and say, oh God, do you want me to get dressed and go to work? Lord, if you do want me to get dressed, as I go to the closet, what clothes should I wear? Now that's my part. That's my part. So the God is in control. I understand where it comes from. I do believe that God is sovereign. I believe God is omnipotent. He's everywhere. Omniscient. He knows everything. Got it. But just because you're all powerful doesn't mean you flex your muscles every day. God could stop every murder. God could stop every accident. God could stop. But he doesn't, because there are seasons, there are systems, all of this. So when we say God is in control, he's in control, but we play a role in this. We play a role in this. All right, let's go to another school of thought. Well, if God's not in control, then the devil's in control. Evil's in control. Read the news every day. Bad news, bad. Especially this COVID. Remember when Dr. Amy Acton said there were 10,000 people? That was coming. That was the future. 10,000 people a day were going to be diagnosed with COVID. That meant in 7 days we were going to have 70,000 people. In 10 days, 100,000 people. Oh man, everybody was going to be dropping like flies. There is a lot of bad news every day. So say, well, evil's in control. Evil's in control. I don't think that's it either. You know why? Because I believe if evil or the devil were in control, everybody that was good, that wanted to do good and accomplish something good, be dead in 24 hours or sooner. A devil is going to try to erase his competition. Evil is going to try to annihilate anything that is good as quickly as possible. So you hear this today and you go, man, Scotty the trainer, you say God's not in control, the devil's not in control, then what's the philosophy? The philosophy, I think, is this. We're responsible for our decisions. We are responsible for our decisions. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, who God foreknew, he also predestined them. And somebody said, predestination means he already planned out every step. I leave that for another day, but I will say this. I don't know that I can go along and predestined every step, but I do know that there are predestined outcomes to certain decisions that we make. If I come home and make a decision that I'm going to be nasty towards my wife and kids, guess what? It's predestined. I'm going to have a nasty response. Everybody in this house will hate my guts. But if I come home loving and open and want to bring everybody in, it is predestined I'll get a different response. So I think that instead of pushing this off on God all the time and blaming a devil all the time, that what we need to start doing is taking a look at ourselves. What role are we playing and what decisions are we making in this life that we're living?